This is the Wheel Weaves Podcast, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis, Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin Ishara, Ashlee Bradley, and Laura Lewis. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Emma McClard to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really truly could not do this without you. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 28 of The Gathering Storm.
Yeah, Chapter 28 is Night in Hinderstap.
Aha.
More like Nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. Nightmare in Hinderstap.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, because things are bad, apparently. They're not good.
Things are not good here.
Who knew that the screaming at the end of last chapter would lead to this?
Would lead to such terrible things.
Yeah.
Who knew that the spooky, weird people...
Yeah.
did spooky, weird things.
Here's the thing. Did you ever suspect that was the way it was going to go? Is that how you thought it was going to go?
The first part, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The first part I wasn't shocked by.
Okay, like that everybody went crazy?
That everyone went crazy. Yeah. That part I wasn't so shocked by.
Okay.
Because I was like, I even said like zombies.
Right.
Vampires, werewolves.
Yeah, I think you might have said, yeah.
I was like, werewolf energy. Like, this felt like something happens at nightfall where shit goes down.
Yeah.
And
full moon and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I was thinking that, but the Groundhog's Day situation was unexpected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I was like, how are they all still alive? This clearly isn't the first time this has happened, and they all seem to be just like...
I like Matt's general just like frustration and a not understanding at the entire thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what's this? What's that? Why are you here? It's fantastic.
But we're jumping ahead.
Right. Okay, and a very appropriate fun fact for today, because it's all about Hinderstap.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know we tried our very best to like figure out what Hinderstap is.
What
is
it
it a place
means.
in Germany?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did a little bit of digging and got some help from the Wheel of Time Origins book too. So there's some stuff that's going on here. So apparently with Hinderstap, there is some real world mythology inspiration going on here with the Welsh mythology of, and I know I'm not going to pronounce this right because it's Welsh, Peir Dadeni, but it translates to the Cauldron of Rebirth, because this cauldron is an item that gives its name to Lloyd Alexander's fantasy novel classic The Black Cauldron, which was adapted by Disney into The Black Cauldron, which is very loosely based on it, and apparently Lloyd Alexander did not think it was anything like the book, but did in fact enjoy the movie. Anyways, the Cauldron of Rebirth is a magical cauldron that's able to resurrect the dead, and in one of the stories is used to create undead warriors.
Ooh, okay.
So, I mean, okay.
Oh, this kind of reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kind of like at night, they're like all in the moonlight, they're skeleton fighters.
Right.
But then they're normal or
Right.
something. I haven't seen that movie in a
Sure.
long time.
Yeah,
But
I can tell.
something like that happens, right?
I mean, yeah, sorta.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's also kind of
But
like...
they're under a curse.
Well, it's kind of funny that we're talking about comparisons, but it's also a lot like The Kingsman. There's like a church fight sequence, and anyone who's seen that movie knows what I'm talking about. So they'll be like, yeah, that's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the whole violent rage monster thing. There's also like some of the 28 Days Later-esque of like the really crazy rage monsters going on.
Yeah, or like, what's the Brad Pitt one?
Oh, World War Z.
World War Z.
Yeah. Okay, I get that too.
Because those are crazy.
Yeah.
Those are crazy zombies.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Hinderstap.
Back to it, and then according to the Wheel of Time Origins book, the name of the town Hinderstap, apparently it derives from the Gundestrup cauldron, which has some ties to Celtic mythology, and I couldn't actually find any connection besides where it was found, which is Gundestrup, which is in Himmerland, Denmark. So if you take the first part of Himmerland, and then the last part of Gundestrup, you get Himmerstrup, which is kind of like Hinderstap.
Sure.
And that's the best I can do.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
And the cauldron.
Cauldron. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's no cauldrons like here. Nothing to do with the
No,
chapter.
except that the black cauldron
Yeah.
had to do with the
undead
curse
warriors.
yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Same.
I mean, it all
connects.
easily comes together.
About as nicely as a lot of the other ones.
Okay, so should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, chapter 28, Night in Hinderstap. And the chapter symbol, once again, 5 dice for Matt.
Yeah.
Because we pick up, in Matt's perspective, pretty much immediately after the door gets slammed in their face and they start hearing screaming.
Right, and they have all their money and their food in the wagon right here, but they're all alone in the middle of the street, so now they're not.
Yeah, and we have Talmanis, who's very mad at Matt.
Right.
And Matt's like, what? This isn't my fault.
Yeah, they're in the middle of like a big fight action sequence.
They're fighting.
They're killing villagers who are trying to kill them.
And Talmanis is like, well, like, listen, they told us to leave and you had to keep dicing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really Matt's fault because, like, how is he? And he even brings this up.
How's he supposed to know?
How's he supposed to know this was going to be the reaction? Like, this isn't a normal situation. So Matt makes a fair point later on.
Well, yeah, he says, how could I know that they were going to turn into some crazy, bloodthirsty, mindless monsters bent on killing everyone?
Right. Including each other. Yeah, which is a big part of this, too. So they're not only trying to kill Matt and Talmanis and his guys, they're fighting each other in this crazy, violent free-for-all. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's insanity.
Yeah, and very descriptive in the writing.
Oh, yeah.
It goes on for quite a while.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of that.
With a lot of very vivid description of these villagers and everything that they're witnessing here in this village that the sun's gone down.
We don't shy away from the violence in the descriptions.
No.
And, I appreciate that because you really want to get in the feel for what it's really like here.
Okay, so now we have Matt, Talmanis, Harnan, and Delarn.
Yeah, those are the 2 red arms that were bringing in the chest of gold.
That's right. And they're just in this crazy fight.
Yeah, and at the beginning here, Matt's trying to go for, like, wounding attacks. Like, he's not trying to kill the villagers. Yeah. Because they still don't actually know that these aren't, like, the villagers. Like, there's still that aspect of, oh, we don't want to just murder all these people. We're talking to, like, 5 minutes ago, literally.
Right, but pretty quickly, he has to switch to lethal blows.
Yeah, because they're just going to get overrun. Like, and the crazy part is that these aren't regular, like, soldiers fighting them. This is just, like, it's insanity.
And they don't have weapons. They're using their fingers to claw skin, and they're using teeth to bite. And I was like, zombies.
Right.
But it's like, no, they're not eating each other. They're just going for any killing blow.
Just trying to kill, yeah. Whatever they can do, so...
And they aren't backing off.
Yeah, and I like this too because you get all the sequences and some of the people we've met already. At one point, a body comes like smashing through the window, and Matt can see the mayor on the other side of this, and he's also crazy, and he's just like screaming and starts attacking other people too.
Screaming wildly.
Yeah, and he thinks there's like a moment of lucidity where maybe he recognizes Matt, but then it's just like gone. No, he doesn't.
No.
All right.
And then Matt's like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta move.
Yeah.
And then Talmanis is like, but the gold. And Matt's like, we're leaving it. We gotta leave. We gotta go. And then he even thinks to himself, maybe I'll come back for it.
Yeah, we can bring the army in tomorrow, hopefully. And then but we gotta get out first. Yeah. So that works too.
Yeah, so they start galloping away and have a quick conversation about how crazy this is and how they don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, and they got to find Tom because Tom was off at that other end.
We got to find Tom, and we have to find the Aes Sedai.
Right, because they were just at the other end taking baths, and we just learned that they weren't getting out of the bath.
They weren't getting out of the baths because they were being tricksy Aes Sedai, and they were just going to push it so that they could stay.
If I just don't leave the bathtub, what are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, are they solely to blame? Or are the bath attendants and the people at the inn, maybe they dragged things out, hoping to keep the Aes Sedai there? Because we learn in a little bit that they were kind of hoping that the Aes Sedai would get roped into this
for sure
to help save them.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is shared blame in all of this. Like, yes, they should have listened to the rules, but also the rules are kind of arbitrary. And in a general sense, it doesn't matter.
Matt got out when he was supposed to, the Aes Sedai didn't, and Tom didn't.
Yeah.
So...
And I mean, even the mayor with, like, doing the whole, okay, well, I guess, do the roll and all that from last chapter. Like, everyone's to blame.
Yeah.
The least of which probably would be Matt and his crew. Because, there's rules, but also... It's so arbitrary, and in a general, like, normal, real-world sense, like, what could you possibly be that mad about if they stay a little bit past sundown?
Right,
Like, it doesn't actually make a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, except for all the nefarious and ominous clues we got.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Hindsight's 20/20.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, but yeah, we also get here in the description, because there's lots of it, the children are also crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like biting at legs and they're attacking other children and people are killing children too.
It's everybody.
Everybody's
the
part
children,
of it. Yeah.
the men, the old people.
The children too.
The children also. I said that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, doubly bad.
Also children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it doesn't seem like the animals are going crazy, though.
The animals aren't.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually interesting, but like the animals and also these people aren't necessarily attacking the animals either. That doesn't seem like the prime motivation either.
Okay.
It's not just kill everything, it's just like kill all the people.
Kill people.
Kill people.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a thing.
Well, now things are getting worse because it's so dark that it's impossible to see anything clearly.
Yep.
And there are no lights being turned on in the village at this time.
No.
So.
By the zombie people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, while they're charging down one of the streets, the closer they get to the middle of the inn, because they were on the outskirts, right? So the closer they get to the middle, the more packed the streets are getting with all the crazy fighting.
Which is why in zombie apocalypse, you want to get out of the cities as soon as possible. Like,
you don't want to be the middle of it.
You don't want to be stuck in the city. Too many people.
Interesting.
Classic rule.
Classic.
Yeah. Classic rule. Never get stuck in a city.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Delarn gets pulled off his horse at one point.
Right. That's like the main thing.
And
That's one of the guys.
Telmanus is like, we gotta keep going because we can't stop or we'll die.
Yeah, they're all just gonna get swarmed here.
But Matt is not gonna leave one of his men in this, so he turns around and he throws himself off his horse and he is just using his crazy spear sword.
Yeah, the Ashendari. Yeah, and this is why I brought up the horse thing, because they don't seem to be attacking Pips. Like, they're not going after Pips or the other horse, and he doesn't ride his horse into the group because he doesn't want to trample Delarn, who's he's trying to save in the first place.
Right.
But I actually kind of think it's a pretty interesting fight sequence because the combat is really difficult, not just because it's dark, but it's also difficult because he notes that the villagers don't even have the coordination of like Trollocs. So there's no concern about dying or protecting yourself. There's no like natural motivation for these people to fight in a certain way. It's just like hands, teeth, whatever. And if they die, it doesn't even matter. It won't even register with them.
Right.
So it's like harder to fight against that than it is to fight against like Trollocs or other soldiers because there's no self-preservation that's going to hold them back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
So he finds Delarn, who's trying to fight his way through the villagers, and Matt grabs him, starts shoving him back to Pips, but Delarn is not doing well because he is pretty well injured.
Yeah, and we find out later he definitely got stabbed by his own sword, but we'll come to that in a second.
That's because a couple of them got his sword.
Yeah,
and a couple of the villagers, and we're just like swinging it around wildly. So.
Yeah, it's like once they got the sword, they still could swing it, I guess, so that's fine. But anyways.
Now, before they can get back on the horse, they're surrounded by more villagers, and then knives flash past Matt, and he sees that they are being rescued by Tom.
Yeah, so that's one trip that we don't have to do right now, which is nice.
Well, and likely what happened was the sun was going down, and Tom left when he was supposed to.
Yeah.
And was like trying to find the Aes Sedai and Matt, and was like, hey guys, we were told to leave, where are you?
Yeah.
So he was probably already riding around.
Possibly,
and then this all started.
For sure, yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
That's probably why he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we just got to go find the Aes Sedai.
We got to get the Aes Sedai, especially because Delarn needs healing.
Yeah, like he's almost dead right now. Like he is really not good. He is severely injured, and he's a little bit delirious because he starts ranting and singing about the band songs like Jack of the Shadows and stuff. Like it's not good. He's not good.
No. So they make it towards the inn, and they can see fireballs flashing from the upper levels of the inn, so it's pretty clear that the Aes Sedai are still alive and in there.
Yeah, and they're just like holed up, which I guess is good.
Yeah, and so Matt and crew are gonna head around to the back of the inn.
Yeah, because we got to get the horses for the Aes Sedai.
Yep.
Got to get them ready. And we're also kind of sneaking at this point because the villagers are getting distracted. Like, they lose the villagers at one point.
Yeah.
Because they can ride faster, and then the villagers get distracted by the other villagers who they're also trying to kill.
Yeah, and there's, like, groups of villagers attacking other groups of villagers.
Yeah, which is, like, none of it really makes a lot of sense, and, like, you don't really know what's going to happen, but they do manage to lose everybody for a second, so now they just got to stay quiet for the most part, and then hopefully they won't get caught again.
Mm-hmm. So Tom is going to make sure that the coast is clear. Telmanus and Harnan are going to get things ready, and Matt and Delarn have a bit of a conversation about how Matt is like, don't worry, man, hold on.
Yeah, and this is where we get the story about the gut wound that he has, And then Matt tries to comfort him because he's like, oh, we'll heal you. But Delarn also has that soldier thing going on here too, because like a gut wound, you're going to die from that normally.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to live past that. So he probably thinks he's done for anyways. But hopefully we get the Aes Sedai in time.
Okay, so Tom comes back and he's like, okay, coast is clear, let's go. Matt, Talmanis, and Tom go into the inn and they see the cook down a hallway beating in the head of the innkeeper who's already dead or something.
These are all important people who are going to come back
up
later too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just got to remember these guys.
Yeah, now the cook looks up with a crazy look in his eyes and Matt just like cuts him down.
Yeah.
And there's more fighting on the stairs and they finally make it up to the second floor and burst through the door and immediately almost get blown up by the Aes Sedai who are throwing fireballs.
Yeah, it is kind of funny too, because it's like, why are you busting through the door and then acting surprised that they're throwing fireballs? Like, you saw the fireballs beforehand.
Right.
But they came up like the back way too.
Yeah.
The servants' entrance or staircase or whatever.
Sure.
That maybe there was less action on, so I don't know. I don't know why they're surprised, honestly.
Yeah. But then Matt's like, what the hell are you doing? And they're like, you busted in here with weapons out. What were we supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're trying to rescue you.
Jolene is like, Matt? And then they have a back and forth about it. And we also learn that Jolene is not fully dressed.
Oh, yeah. Boobs are out.
And that's very distracting.
She's not wearing a shirt, and it's just boobs are fully out.
That's not true.
No, it's not true. But,
She's wearing a robe.
To Talmanis, it's basically the same thing. Because he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And there's like a little bit of cleavage, maybe.
I know. And then Matt's like, remember, she's not a woman.
Yeah, she's an Aes Sedai.
Don't
and he's like, whoa.
Don't even think about her boobs like
Remember,
that.
Jolene's like the hot one, isn't she?
Jolene's the pretty one.
Okay. Yeah.
I know. Anyway, they all clearly got dressed very quickly. Their hair's still wet.
Yeah,
all of that.
Because the bath situation.
Anyway,
here.
The two warders are here, and Matt's two other red arms are also here? Or is that...
Yeah.
Who's here? Okay.
Yeah, it's the because remember how he sent some of the red arms with the Aes Sedai?
Not really.
And then some went with him.
Okay.
Yeah, so they split up, but we're all here.
Okay.
We're all here basically, so.
Now, there are about a dozen servants tied up in the corner who are very angry.
Right.
And there's also a pair of younger girls who are also tied up.
Like the bath attendants, basically.
Right.
That's what Matt figures they must be.
Yeah.
Because
and
the rest
Matt's
are like guys, I guess.
The entire city has gone crazy. And we need to go.
Yeah.
And Jolene's like, we're not leaving. We can't leave the servants here to this mob.
It's like, they are the mob,
They
guys.
are the mob.
Plus...
Didn't they try to kill you? Like, everything that Matt says here makes so much sense. And Jolene is just so set on being right.
Yeah.
And doing what she wants to do, even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
Completely fits the character.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they're like, hey, we also got to make sure that the innkeeper, that he's okay. And Matt's
like, oh, he's very dead. His brains are on the wall downstairs.
And the floor, and the table, and
the
everywhere.
entire city's crazy. And I bet that these servants even tried to kill you. And so we seriously have to leave.
Yeah. Jolene brings up, too, she's like, maybe we should wait here until the morning. Like, maybe it's a nighttime thing. It sounds like she's maybe onto that side of things, too.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like, we don't want to go in the nighttime because we can't see anything, and it'll be safe for the morning, too. So I don't really know if she is suspecting that it's a nighttime, daytime thing.
Nighttime, daytime. Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But Matt's like, you gotta go heal Delarn. He's down there. He's injured.
We don't want him to die.
We don't want him to die.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything for these people here.
Right.
And so finally Jolene agrees, but on the condition that they can bring the two serving girls and that the warders carry them.
Right.
And Matt doesn't like this, but he doesn't argue.
Good enough.
And he goes, fine, let's go.
Yeah, that's a compromise. That'll do.
Yeah. So they all head down and out of the inn, and then Edicina rushes up to Delarn and heals him. And is like, phew, I made it in time.
Yeah, that's good, right?
It's good.
We're not, okay.
That's
I know you don't even really care about Delarn, because, like, who is this guy?
No, I do. I don't want him stuck in this Groundhog's Day.
You wouldn't know that until, like, later, though.
I know that.
But, like, in the moment where you're like, I don't care if he dies?
No, I care.
Okay, I never know. I never know.
Matt cares.
Yeah. Matt worked really hard to save this guy.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not going to let a guy die in this madness.
Right.
Dying in battle is one thing, but dying here is, like, that's not okay.
No, I agree. All right, now Tom gets a little philosophical.
Right.
And is like, it's like the darkness itself intoxicates them, and as if the light itself has forsaken them, leaving them only to the shadow.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, we'll write our stories later.
Yeah.
You can write your songs another time. We gotta go.
he's just testing it out. Testing it out. So
yeah. So everyone gets on their horses and they take the shortest path out of the city and they escape. But they're heading not to the direction of the rest of his camp.
Right. Yeah. We're taking the shortest route.
The other side.
Yeah, like north.
Yeah.
North, basically.
Okay, so our action scene is over.
Right. Do you want to talk about the little joke that Talmanis tells at the end? No, you didn't even pick up on it?
No.
Okay. Because Talmanis is like, I told you we should leave, but you had to stay for one more toss. And Matt's like, it's not my fault. How was I supposed to know? Blah, 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 blah. That they were going to start tearing each other's throats out. And then Talmanis says, isn't that usually how people react when you tell them you're going to spend the night? But it's great.
Yeah, dry.
There's no time for joking.
No time for humor.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because at this point, Matt's like, not funny, too soon. And then Matt tries to tell a joke later. And then Tom, I think, is like, no,
not
too soon.
Not funny, too soon? Okay, I didn't pick up any of that. Okay, so we are going to get a bit of a time lapse. It's a few hours later, and Matt is sitting on a rock looking over the town of Hinderstap.
Yes. Yeah. So they got away.
Yep.
Didn't lose anybody, which is good.
Yep. Now the village is still completely dark, and the soldiers are asleep because that's what they do.
Right.
And Matt thinks about how wrong this whole situation felt.
Yeah.
And then he's wondering if he caused all of this by staying, and he doesn't know for sure. He doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of a heavy thought process, too, because he does feel bad. Like, maybe I am at fault for all of this. But, I mean, that's part of Tom's conversation, that he comes over to check on Matt. And he's like, hey, man, you should sleep probably. But they also have a lot of heart-to-hearts. And they have, it seems, in the past couple of chapters with Matt and Tom, where they are kind of connecting and like, that sucks, but it's not your fault, man.
Right.
It's just like, it's crazy. Things are crazy now.
Yeah, so Matt and Tom have a bit of a conversation about who saved whose butt back there.
Yeah.
And Matt just really needs Tom to stop saying things like, I'm so old, I'm basically about to die.
Yeah, well, Tom's kind of been hard on himself in the last chapter, too. He's like, it's like you don't even need me anymore. Yeah. Remember they had that whole conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And now Matt's like, hey, man.
And Matt's like, you saved me.
Yeah,
if you
I do
weren't
need
there,
you.
Like, I do need you.
Tom's a little bit down right now.
Yeah.
He just wants to go and save Maureen, okay?
And then Matt, he does. But then Matt starts talking about how none of this is going to leave him alone. And he starts to spiral a little because he's like, all of the bloody Dark One stuff and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah.
I've been chased since the Two Rivers and they're still coming for me. The Golem's still out there, the Fades and the Trollocs, the Dark Friends, the monsters, and the ghosts.
And now the weird zombie werewolf
people.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Tom's like, yeah.
You're Taviran.
Yep.
And Matt's like, I didn't ask for any of this. I wish they'd all just go bother Rand. He likes it.
Yeah.
And then he thinks about Rand. Well, no, he doesn't think about it. He gets the color swirl vision of Rand.
Yeah.
With Min curled up, sleeping beside him.
Yeah, which is actually important, too. And I want to talk about this because there was a little bit of concern that we had about the relationship between Rand and Min.
Yeah.
After the whole, post-Semirog thing, Rand is a little bit sensitive, but it seems like... And he was worried about Min never looking at him the same way again.
Yeah.
But assuming that things are going okay, it seems like they're still, at least sleeping in the same bed.
Hopefully.
So that's a win, right?
Yep. No, I think that Min's the type of person who is going to do her best to try to pretend like nothing happened.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know?
Yep.
So...
Just blow right past it.
Yeah, let's not even worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. See, I'm fine.
Right.
To try to, get Rand to be okay.
To be fine.
Yeah.
And then everyone can just be fine together.
Yeah.
And they'll all be fine.
Right. Just don't acknowledge any trauma ever.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
We're all going to die soon anyways. Just, bury that down until you do.
You just bury it.
Yeah, bury it real deep.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
You're good.
That's really the way to move past anything, really.
Yeah, there's some real advice there.
It's good. It's good. It's good advice.
Okay. So now let's get into the conversation about whether or not it is Matt's fault and that he brought the trouble to the village itself.
Mm-hmm. And Tom thinks no.
No, yeah.
Sure, trouble does seem to follow Matt, but this doesn't really seem like that kind of trouble.
Yeah, well, and he's also got some information. because when he was singing and doing his whole Gleeman thing at the other end, he did hear some tidbits that didn't make sense, but now in hindsight, like looking back now, it makes more sense that maybe the people were expecting something to go down.
Yeah.
And a lot of the signs, obviously, we have seen with the clothing that we got called out at the very beginning, like a bunch of times it's like, oh, that's weird. This is weird too.
Yes.
What's happening
there?
there?
Yeah, like their clothes with rips and sewn back up. And...
Why do they need so much wool if this is a wool town and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's like, because they're going through clothes like nobody's business.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And lots of paint.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of paint and such. Okay. I feel like painting wouldn't be my number one concern.
Well, they paint it so that it looks normal again.
Right.
I guess. So Tom continues telling Matt that it really does seem like the people were expecting this to happen, but it doesn't make any sense because if this had happened before, they'd all be dead.
Right, and that was your thought too.
That's what I was kind of thinking, but especially on my first read, I didn't realize that they were all completely murdering each other.
Right.
Like, I thought it was just kind of like scrappy brawls.
Oh, like a couple people got killed,
and
maybe?
then, like, some people died.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah.
And then, so maybe they, like, slowly are losing
the population,
people.
yeah, is slowly dwindling,
right?
But we're not, like, all out, everyone dies.
Yeah, because I didn't quite grasp the severity of, like, murdering everybody every night.
Yeah, but rereading this again, it's like literally everyone we've seen, basically everyone dies. Everyone gets killed.
Every night.
Except by the one person who I guess wins. Is there like a...
I don't know. There might be like a group that's like a winner
that's
when
true
the sun
too.
Comes up. Like, as long as you haven't died when the sun comes up. But we're jumping ahead again.
Yeah, we are. Okay, we'll come back to it. So yeah, there's more to this too.
Yeah.
Because the crazy village and all that murdering craziness is one thing.
Yes.
There's another side plot that's going on here, and we got to talk about this one.
Yeah. Now, last chapter,
yeah,
we did see like a young person
right
come up to the mayor with a note of some kind, some parchment of some kind, show it to the mayor, and then the mayor was like, be off with you.
Right.
And then we moved on.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I bet there's a picture of Matt on there. And then we learn that Tom found some people drunk in this inn
yeah,
who were passing around a picture of Matt.
Really good drawing of his face.
Really nice. He's like, yes, straight teeth, nice nose, excellent hat.
Perfect. Okay, so here's the thing.
Nice looking guy.
The only reasonable explanation for this is that it must be Rand drawing this, because if you recall, Luce Theron and Rand,
excellent artist. Yeah.
And this is an excellent picture.
I feel like other people can be excellent drawings.
No.
Drawers.
No. That's the only person.
Artists.
Yeah. It all works.
Yep. All right. Well,
so
anyway.
you saying no to that?
I'm saying no to that
all right.
specifically.
Okay.
But Tom says it's from an Outlander woman in some village north of here who's giving them out and offering a reward to anyone who's seen Matt.
Right. But we don't actually know the name of the person, or the person, other person, or a description, or the town's name, because the guy was either drunk or just like was hiding it. We don't know.
Right. So now they're trying to connect some puzzle pieces here, but I think this is separate.
Okay.
This is just like the Dark Friend.
Yeah. Okay. So not connected to the crazy evil village spooky stuff going on.
I don't think so.
Okay, because they do kind of have that, like, oh, is it connected? Maybe, because it's like your face turned up here.
This kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And we do find out later that the picture's being passed around a bunch of villages. Yeah. So yeah, that doesn't make sense that they're not actually connected.
Yeah. Now, anyway, the sun is just starting to come up, and Matt is like, we're going to go back. And Tom says, back? To there?
Yeah.
What? And
he's
like,
why?
Yeah.
Because they have his...
Gold
and his food.
Yeah. And also, like, maybe we can figure out some stuff here.
Yeah, that's true, too. Like that, but, also because the food and the gold.
Right.
And at this point, it's like, okay, maybe we should try and collect.
Right. So just as we're like, hey, maybe we should go back there, something crazy is happening.
Yeah.
The warders are like, oh my God, where did the two prisoner ladies go?
They were here a second ago and they're all tied up.
They were all tied up. They were right here sleeping.
For the record, they were tied up with the silk from the dress.
From Jolene's ripped up dress.
Because the silk would be stronger than like regular old wool or something
towels.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember.
Good to know.
Yeah. Now, it really just seems like they disappeared because the silk wraps or whatever they were using to tie up the prisoners are all still on the ground.
And I like how Matt's
but the people are gone.
They are. But Matt's first comment too is like, "Oh, did you fall asleep for a second?" And then it's
the warders were like, "No."
The warders did not fall asleep on their guard duty.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah.
So they definitely just disappeared.
Because they just disappeared.
Did.
Yeah. That's what happened.
And this just makes Matt think for sure that he's got to go investigate.
Well, we have to now. We really have to figure out what's going on.
We really have to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because this is so weird.
Yeah.
And so he tells Telmanis to watch the Aes Sedai, and then the Aes Sedai needs to watch the soldiers or something.
Well, because they're like, we don't need to be watching. He's like, fine, whatever. You watch them, but like, whatever.
I don't even
I'm
care.
leaving. You stay here.
You guys stay here.
Yeah.
And Tom is coming.
Exactly. So he and Tom.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Now, before we head back into Crazy Town,
right.
Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back, and we get Matt and Tom riding down into the village, and we get that it was about an hour that they traveled out of the village to spend the rest of the night, and so they have another hour of riding together, because they wanted to be safe, but it's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, and we don't really need to go over that.
Nope.
It was uneventful.
Okay.
It's fine.
So they get back there, and immediately we notice some weird stuff happening.
Some, like, weird stuff from the weird, crazy stuff that just happened. Like, this is the new weird stuff.
This is the new weird?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go over the weird stuff.
Now, there are some lights coming on in the village.
It's weird.
Because it was completely black all night.
And everyone killed each other. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, right, there's that.
That part.
Now, when we get back into the village, there are some people up and about working, putting a door back on its hinges.
Yeah, like fixing stuff.
Putting another coat of paint on a very thickly painted wall.
Yeah, to hide all the crazy scratch marks and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then the next is the really weird thing.
Then Matt sees the innkeeper, who was definitely dead last night.
Yes.
Says, hey guys, what are you doing here?
No, he's like, you're dead.
No, that's what Matt says.
Yeah.
Yeah. The innkeeper's like, you definitely shouldn't be here.
Yeah, and then he's like, go get the mayor.
Yeah, someone
quickly.
Go get the mayor now.
Like, real quickly. Quickly now. Okay.
Yeah. And then Matt starts cursing and is like, what is going on here? And then the frickin' cook, who Matt killed himself.
Yeah, and like knew that it was the cook when he was killing him.
Yeah, because he's a very
he just killed the innkeeper, right?
Person.
That's who we watched, like, was bashing the head of the innkeeper or whatever.
The cook killed the innkeeper,
right?
and then Matt killed the cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Matt's like, I definitely know you're dead because I killed you. Like, you for sure should be dead.
Okay, and the innkeeper's like, calm down. All right, let's get some tea.
This is funny. He's
and
like, come
Matt's
with me.
Oh, I am not going anywhere with you, spirit.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, we've seen ghosts before. We've seen villages disappearing into, like, the ground. Yep. And he's like, no, not happening. I'm not going anywhere. What are you doing? Who's that? Where are you?
Come with me. We got some stuff to tell you. And then Tom is like, maybe we should hear them out.
Yeah.
They're clearly not spirits. What ghosts do you know who care about whitewashing that wall?
And like, what ghost needs to fix the door and like actually fix it? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then Matt spots the place on the road.
Yeah.
Where he fought off the villagers to save Delarn.
Right.
And he's like, look, there's blood on the road.
Yeah. Which is like
there.
Delarn's blood.
Yeah.
Which is there.
Where he got stabbed.
Yeah.
And Tom's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's so surprising?
The new weird stuff.
And then Matt says, where's the rest of the blood? I killed a dozen men here and they all bled. Where's the blood?
Fair question.
Where's the blood, Tom? Where's the blood?
You know what, Matt's going off right now, but he is actually making like really rational and very fair points about what is happening. Like, it doesn't actually make sense. And for him to think like, hey, there should be blood. Like, I know that they were dead and there should be blood because I killed them. But like, that's a very logical thought process. Mm-hmm. He's a little bit, shouty
so why
about
is there
it. But
only
Delarn's
one
blood.
little splatter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
And then Matt hears someone say, it vanishes. And he spins around, and it's the mayor.
Right, here we go.
Who is not a bloodthirsty, crazy fighting monster.
Exactly.
He's back to being normal
mayor man. Yes.
Normal mayor man.
Okay.
Now, he's here to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
And he says, the blood vanishes, None of us have to see it. We just wake up and it's gone. And he tries to reassure Matt that they won't hurt him now because the sun's up.
Yeah, and like when the sun goes down again,
Can't promise that.
We'll do that again probably.
Yeah. And if Matt wants an explanation, he'll give him one. Otherwise, he should leave.
Yeah, which is fair.
The mayor doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'll tell you or I won't. Do you want to hear it or not?
Yeah.
And then Matt makes the decision. He does want an explanation and
he wants his freaking gold.
He wants his gold back.
And his food probably because he does have an army to feed. And we got a whole explanation about you got to get food where you can get food.
Yeah.
Even if it's from ghostly, spooky mountain folk who try to kill you.
Right. Now, Matt and Tom and the mayor are settled in this room in the mayor's manor. And we get a whole thing with his wife coming in, trying to give them tea, but Matt won't even go sit down.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like I understand the apprehension from Matt.
Yeah.
He's being a little bit dramatic, and Tom
it's pretty creepy.
It is pretty creepy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the craziest thing we've ever seen?
It's pretty up there.
It's pretty crazy, but Matt has seen playing cards come to life and try to murder him.
That's fair, but then after he killed them, they stayed dead.
Yeah.
The playing cards didn't get back up, and we're like, come for some tea, and I'll explain what happened.
That's true. He has seen grains of sand form people that try to kill him. He's seen bubbles of evil.
Yeah, okay.
He has seen so much.
Yeah, okay.
So much.
And I mean, Tom's like more willing to listen, but I also think that he's old and tired. And
yeah.
This is a good story.
I think
it's a good story.
While Matt should be spooked, I think he should take this in a little more stride. You know?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Just sit down. It's fine. I mean, I get he's trying to persevere. He's trying to not die again.
Right. Okay, let's get to the story. Let's get to the story of what's actually happening here. Okay, so it all started a few months ago, and they don't know if they did something or if it's just like a cruel curse from the Dark One, but it was a normal day just before the Feast of Abram.
Okay.
So that's actually important because we've heard of that day. We know what day that is.
Ooh, okay, tell me what day that is. That was my question to ask you.
So we actually came across the Feast of Abram Day, Path of Daggers, Book 8, Chapter 17, Out on the Ice, which was when Egwene and the Aes Sedai were rolling across the ice.
Well, no, they didn't do that.
To go for the meeting with the Andoran nobles.
Yeah.
So that was...
So they walked out on the magically secured...
Right.
Ice lake.
Lake, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Egwene was like, it's the Feast of Abram today, and we're supposed to get honey cakes and warm drinks, but nobody's giving us warm drinks here.
Oh, okay. So we didn't actually hear about it.
Well, I mean, that was the Feast of Abram, so that we know that this started for these people, shortly before that happened in Book 8.
Okay.
I'm just it's a reference
No,
point.
I thought that there was going to be something that happened. My entire... Okay, no. I'm going to say my thing after you tell the rest of the story.
Okay,
I just thought maybe we would get some sort of... that's the day that there was an insane amount of balefire used in
yeah. Like some reason.
Yeah, or that's the day we used the Bowl of the Winds, or that's the day where there was some sort of backlash in the pattern somewhere.
That makes sense too. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Curse of the Dark One, man. It's crazy.
Shoot. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So nothing special. They don't really know what happened. Everyone went about their normal days. Then people started seeing weird stuff that door's broken. Or hey, these ripped clothes weren't ripped yesterday, I don't think. And then people started having shared nightmares about death and killing. And then people started remembering they couldn't go to, they don't remember going to bed or going to sleep. But they would wake up in their beds the next day. Mm-hmm. And they all had these crazy dreams. And then the mayor started telling the story about the first night he remembers because he was helping one of the old guys. Actually, it's kind of funny. Old Man Garkin. I just want a nickname Old Man something,
I can call you that anytime you want.
There's Bad
Old
Back
Man
Brett.
Well, you know what I do call you? Crazy Old Maurice from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call you.
That works too. Yeah. That works too. You need a nickname like
Crazy
that.
Crazy Old Maurice, I like that for you.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, that guy, the mayor was helping him build a fence, and then he remembers waking up in the morning, and then he had nightmares about killing that guy he was helping build a fence, but then the next day he went to go see the guy, and the guy's fine, and then he finished building the fence, and then he went back to town, and everyone started talking about their own experiences of crazy stuff happening, and these nightmares. So that's part of why.
Right, and so now they basically just live their lives.
Yeah.
Most try to go to bed before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So they don't
have holes in their memory then, the gaps,
if
they go to sleep before the craziness takes them.
Right. So do we, because what I was thinking originally.
Sure.
Because you know how the mayor was all frantic last chapter?
Yeah.
I was like, the sun's going to go down. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe because if you go to sleep, then maybe you don't wake up.
Right.
Like maybe. I thought maybe that's how they were getting away with not all dying.
Oh,
I thought
don't
maybe
go to sleep.
No. Definitely go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Okay.
Go to sleep before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And then maybe you don't wake up to kill people.
Oh.
So like if you're already awake, then you start killing people.
Yeah.
But maybe if you go to sleep, or if you like lock yourself in a room by yourself, then you can't kill everybody.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Right. So it seems like even if you go to sleep, you still wake up and go crazy and kill people or whatever. But at least you don't have the gap.
Well, I didn't anticipate this weird.
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure. And that's why I have a couple ideas.
It's literally Groundhog's Day glitch.
It is.
Because some people in the village have tried to run away.
Yep.
They've tried to kill themselves.
Yep. They've had funerals and buried people.
And buried people, and then those people still wake up in their beds the next day. And that happens to Bill Murray.
Yeah.
In Groundhog's Day.
Groundhog Day, yeah.
Because there's a couple times he like just tries to off himself and he still wakes up in his bed the next day.
Shoot.
Yep.
Okay, so it's basically that.
Yeah.
But also some people like to go drink until they can't feel feelings anymore because they always wake up safe in their own bed.
Oh yeah, it's kind of cool.
Easy way to get home safe. It's great. Yeah. And, you know, the horror and the nightmares. And we're not going to talk about...
And the like, lack of actual rest and...
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't get rest anyways because they're all murder monsters.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's all terrible.
So they're all tired all day, every day.
Yeah. And we're also going to just, like, blow past the trauma, not just of, like, the adults, but the children who are clearly also involved in this and having nightmares.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that would be worse for the kids, but no time for that now.
Well, it's worse for everybody.
But now there's also the rules, so they do implement a few rules. Number one, no fires at nighttime because they can't have fires starting in the village when no one's there to fight them off because then the town goes up in flames.
It just burns down.
It burns down. Like, who freaking knows what happens?
What if I burn down my house? Where do I wake up the next day?
Probably the same spot where your bed was, because there's actually some comments about that, about like, hey, if you're a stranger to this village, and if you die here, you wake up in a random bed, basically.
Yeah,
and
so that's why all the inns are, like, full.
Well,
and people were like, oh, I wonder if, like, Matt and Tom, and I wonder if they died here, where are they going to wake up?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you don't actually know, and it's kind of random.
So if we didn't heal DeLarn,
if we just,
he would have been cursed to this town.
He'd be trapped here, yeah. He would have woken up in a bed, and then he'd be stuck here.
Right.
So this opens up, like, a bunch of possibilities of, like, hey, what can we do to prevent this? Like, do we break all the beds, and, like, you just, loophole?
Yeah.
Probably not. I would just assume you'd wake up
at one point, Matt's like, why don't you run away?
Yeah.
And he's like, we tried.
Tried that. Thanks, man. What I would try to do is, why don't we implement a strap system where everyone you strap yourself down before you go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you can't get out of the straps. Like, I don't know.
I also think that there's some level of, like, denial.
Oh, yeah.
Going on, because when Matt's like, I can tell you what happened, and the mayor's like, no,
thank you.
We don't want details. It's better off just thinking we're having nightmares.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually understand that too, because like this is crazy. And if you put into a reality of like, I actually go and murder everyone around me, including and probably not limited to your own family.
Oh, for sure.
Every night.
Yeah.
Like that would be hard to live with, but you have to live with it because you can't die.
Yeah, we just want to live our best life, or live our lives as best we can. Not our best life. This is not their best life.
This is not them living their best lives.
They are living their lives as best they can.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't also... It's kind of crazy because, I mean, what could you do? You could implement a strap system. You could implement I don't even know, build rooms to lock yourselves in. Like, but how do you do that? So it's just a bad situation.
Yeah, and then my favorite part here is Tom's delusion.
Right.
Where he's like, we have Aes Sedai with us. Let's go get them. Maybe there's something they can do to help, or get the White Tower involved. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, Tom, you are going way out on a limb here, thinking that the White Tower give a shit about this weird mountain village.
Also could do anything.
They don't even give a shit about the Seanchan, who are literally invading, taking over, and enslaving women who can channel.
Like, people like themselves.
Literally
They've taken Aes Sedai.
Literally them.
Yeah.
There's prophecies that they're going to attack the White Tower, and they still don't care about that.
Yeah.
And you think they're going to give two shits about this mountain village. That's just kind of weird.
Right? Mm-hmm. And what about Sohabor with the ghosts?
Yeah, no. They have their own problems. Did you know that the Brown Aja quarter is now in the novice quarters?
Oof. Look, half of it or something.
They
Or like
gotta
half
deal
of
with
the
that.
yellows in the same situation.
In the
Oh my
basement
goodness.
or something.
They got their own problems.
They got so many problems.
Yeah.
They are not giving a shit about this. They don't care. Not a flying nothing.
You don't give a F about nothing.
No. So, Tom, don't offer help. That's definitely never coming.
Yeah. And then the mayor's like, no, we don't want that because he's like, I don't want Aes Sedai eyes on us.
And I was
also,
like,
that's
don't worry.
fair.
There's no
They
Aes Sedai.
wouldn't. They
would
wouldn't.
never. They wouldn't even remember your name.
But the townsfolk being like, oh, what if we trap them here?
Yes.
Maybe they might be
They'd be bound here.
That
they would be more
and they're right.
eager to figure out a way to get out.
If you get these three trapped here, they would try to figure out a way to get themselves out.
Yeah.
They would. They would work on that.
Yeah, but they can't.
Well, you channel real hard.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know?
Nope.
It's like a really strong blast of wind, water, fire, balefire, everything.
Well, that's my other point now.
Right.
Because that's really what this feels like. Because you've been telling me about all the consequences of balefire.
Sure.
That I don't fully understand.
Sure.
And this place feels very much like a big glitch in the pattern.
Yeah, it's because it's a glitch in the pattern. That's what Tom says. He's like, it's a glitch.
It's literally a glitch in the pattern.
Yeah.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
It's more like a bubble of evil.
At the same time.
Pattern's trying to reset itself.
But the pattern is like waving in the wind. Because I was like, ooh, is this when Elaine did her unweaving weaves and like fucked up the whole pattern just in this area or something?
Right.
I'm like, where is this town exactly? And what's been going on? Because we've seen lots of groups traveling in and about.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, what happened? Is it balefire? Did balefire do this?
Yeah.
Because you've been telling me to be scared of it.
Uh-huh.
But,
yeah. This isn't like necessarily the unraveling of the entire pattern. It's just like bad. It's just bad.
It's just bad.
It's like bubble of evil bad. It's not good. In fact, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if I'd account it to balefire.
Yeah. All right. Well.
But anyways, yeah. So
that's
cool.
That's my only thought because I'm like, I don't know. Then now the story's finally done, and then Matt pulls out the picture of himself and is like,
hey,
all right. Well, what about
this?
me?
Right.
What about me? And what about this?
Yeah.
And the mayor's like, ugh, yeah, those have been spreading. Somebody from a nearby village is looking for you and somebody else.
That guy with the yellow eyes. Big burly guy. Yeah. So what are we thinking here? Because obviously it's Perrin.
Yeah, it's Dark Friends.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
This is the same thing we've been seeing since, I don't know, book 1?
Yeah. Well, no, they had
book 2. It was book 2.
They had little holograms.
In the
pictures.
Dark Friends social, we had holograms.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, we have, what was it? Morden was like, kill them now.
Yeah.
Because we have to kill them.
Right. So yeah, that's, it's
sense.
just Dark Friends stuff.
Yeah, so, but back to it. So, we found out the location of the town. Trustair.
Okay.
Bring information to the inn called the Shaken Fist.
Not the Shaken Fist.
Someone's looking for Matt there. And also Perrin. Yep.
And then Matt's like, what does anyone want with me and Perrin?
It's like to kill you.
Yeah.
They want to kill you, Matt. This isn't... Yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
But the mayor says, hey, we got your gold. We got your wagon full of food. It's outside. We didn't take anything from your winnings.
Yeah, we're not thieves. We're not
We
crooks.
keep our word for what, we can control, and we can control this.
Yeah.
And you know what? Also, side note, if they can't die, do they really need the food? Because I assume they can't die of starvation.
It's still nice to eat.
Maybe.
It's nice to eat during the day.
Maybe. I don't know.
So you want them to be sleep deprived and starving?
Do I want them to? Yes. That is what I want.
Because at least they could enjoy eating,
Yeah, sure. I don't even know where I was.
It's the one joy in their life, and you're taking it away.
Yes.
It's the one thing that they can
I didn't
have.
say take away all the alcohol. They can do that.
Yeah, they definitely do that.
They drink as much as they can.
Does the alcohol reappear the next day?
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't think so.
Because the people reappear.
I don't think the food reappears. But what I'm saying is, like, technically, Matt doesn't have to feel bad about taking food from this village because it's not like he's going to actually starve them to death.
Well, no, and he doesn't feel bad about taking the horses on the wagons because he's like,
yeah, they're not
where
going
are they going anyway?
Which is, that's also fair. He's got a point.
Yeah. And another side note.
Yeah.
Matt does a good Matt thing.
He does.
Which I'm so happy about because I was kind of upset about it last time.
Right, yeah.
About him not doing good Matt things.
Right, but he does it.
And he leaves the coin.
Yes, he leaves
for
money.
For the stuff that he's taking.
Yes, he does. And a little
The
extra
mayor
on
right
top.
away says, no, I don't want it. But when he's leaving, he leaves the money behind on the doorstep.
Yeah, he does. He does. And now, to be fair, he was fully intending on leaving last night with this stuff without paying, but he did have a change of heart.
Maybe he was, though. Maybe he was.
That's fair.
I think that no matter what,
he
Matt
would have found a way.
Not have left without paying for the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because we did talk about that, and it did look like we were going the other way, but he did a good thing.
Yeah.
So
now Matt and Tom leave the mayor's house, and Tom immediately is like, I guess we're going. After that
to the
person's
village.
spreading pictures of you, and Matt's like, damn right.
Yeah. Plus it's on the way to the Four Kings, so
to where we're going.
Yeah, it's on the way. We're gonna pass by.
And then Tom is thinking that this is a really sad tale for this town.
And yeah, it is.
And something's clearly wrong in the world. Because there's a snag in the pattern here.
And this is where Matt makes the bad joke, because he's like, they should be more upfront. And he goes on this whole thing about, like, the rules, and we're going to try and murder you at night. Whatever. Have the pies. They're really good. And Tom's like, too soon, man. So it's the same thing that Tom Honest did.
I guess.
Too soon.
But also, at one point, Matt thinks to himself, if Tom's going to write a song about this place, he better get the description of me right, and he better include my hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a nice hat.
It is a nice hat. Yeah, okay.
All right, so off they go.
Yeah, we made it out of Hinderstap, so that's nice.
Yeah, not nice for the people who can't make it out of Hinderstap.
Yeah, crazy little, like, side mission, side sequence here. Little, before we get on with the story.
Yeah.
Going to save Moraine.
Right.
It's like one more thing.
Well, I think that's why
snag.
Tom's like, I guess we're going there.
Yeah. It's like another side quest here. We got to go do something else.
And then that's why Matt's like, don't worry, it's on the way.
We're all so eager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess we're going to go Darkfront hunting.
That's right. Now, good news, next episode, 2 chapters.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Nice. I was going to say, call the Black Aja hunters. They're really good at finding dark friends.
Yeah.
Call the Black Aja Hunter Detective Agency. Anytime you need to find dark friends.
Oh, like for the people hunting Matt?
Yeah.
How do you know it's Black Aja?
No, they're not.
Just be like regular.
I'm just saying. The Black Aja Hunters have a detective agency.
Right, they do.
And they know how to find dark friends. In their detective agency.
Do they though? Because they accidentally found one. They got some suspects.
They do.
They're working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And don't balefire anyone too close to mountain villages.
Right, because maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
No, I think it's just bubble of evil. Like, it was pretty clear that this isn't
And then it doesn't dissipate, though? The weird bubble of evils and stuff.
It's because the last battle's coming. It's getting closer. Things are getting worse.
Staying forever. Do you think that one day none of them will just they won't wake up, they'll all just be dead?
Well, maybe.
One morning?
Maybe,
that
hopefully.
Would be a mercy at this point.
It would be. Yeah, it would be better at this one. Okay. Anyways, we can... Doesn't matter now because we're leaving.
We're leaving. Okay, bye.
See you guys. Okay.
Thanks for sharing your story with us.
See you never.
Hopefully.
Shoot. Okay. Yeah.
Shoot is right.
Yeah. They could have trapped one Aes Sedai there, The worst one.
The worst one.
Which was...
A Black Aja.
Oh, okay, I was going to say Jolene.
That would be fun. No, that would be fun.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not Jolene. No. Couple Suldams.
Sure.
Suldam and their Damani getting trapped there.
Perfect.
Sure. A couple people we don't like.
Yeah, but then the villagers have to live with them forever. That's also bad.
Just like Savannah or Thurava.
Yeah.
Just their whole lives. That's where they live now.
Okay.
All right. This will go on for a while.
Yeah.
Padden Fane.
Who else?
Padden Fane.
Yeah.
Corrupt them all.
Perfect.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, before you go back to the village where everybody there tried to kill you, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, and Gabby Young. with music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show, like information on how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, you can visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. And if you write us a really nice review and put your Instagram or Twitter handle in the review on Apple Podcasts, we will be picking people at random to be giving out some merchandise like stickers and bookmarks, and we'll send them out to those people as a huge thank you. Now be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.